What is up, everyone? It is Dreeked here, and today, before we get into all the arena kind of stuff, just want to say that this video is actually sponsored by JesterGoose. Thank you, JesterGoose, for sponsoring the video again. Look who's here. Silent Salt and White Lily. Well, not White Lily yet. Obviously, White Lily is going to get awakened if the pattern continues. But here's Silent Salt. Wow, that is cool. What a cookie. What a crazy cookie. Silent Salt's here. We're finally at the end of the road for the beasts. Actually, I'm going to show you guys, what's here in this update. So obviously, the lightest silence gotcha that I'm at level 10. I know. I only needed to get around just a little bit into level 9 to get the 6 stars. So I've just been pulling with stuff I've earned. Now there's also Beast episode 11, which we'll go right into, which I still haven't done 11:30 hard mode. I'm going to do it. I just wanted to watch the story and just run through it with one team at 3 o'clock in the morning on update night. So I'm also going to end up doing a video maybe for the challenge. I'm not sure, in collaboration with one of my friends. Not sure. Cannon Run. I'd say it's honestly a pretty fun game. It is a bit hard to just not get hit. That's another thing, but the challenge is there and it's pretty fun. So anyway, let's get right into the arena. Here's team 1 that I would call the quote-unquote standard. So we have Silent Salt, Hollyberry, Eternal Sugar, Doyle, and Shadow Milk. You're going to see this team everywhere. But the only variety is going to be in other teams. These cookies cannot be replaced. You need to have all these cookies. There's nothing replaceable besides Shadow Milk, and I'll get into that later. You need to have all these cookies. It's either, if you want to be competitive in the arena, you need to have these cookies, hands down. It's sad that replacements haven't been a thing, but it is what it is. But anyway, let's get right into the team. So treasures here, clock, monocle, and the necklace, the old necklace. New necklace is only really going to be good for the Machine God guild boss, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but let's go right in. So Silent Salt is just going to be running his base build that I explained in my video. I went way more into depth on it on that video, so go watch that instead. I explained it in the video. Hollyberry, you're going to want to have 2 damage resist, 2 HP. Full HP toppings. I focus just 25% damage resist and around 7 to 8 cooldown. If you can get more, that's good. And you also focus on some HP substats if you can get them. You want to aim for around above 100 HP, 40 to 45% damage resist, and a little bit of cooldown. Every Hollyberry, is different. If you're running something different on Hollyberry, you can keep it. This is just what I like to run on Hollyberry. Hollyberry is, very fluid with builds. As you can see, I have other rather cursed builds that I run sometimes. I also do like this one, 45% damage resist, 26, 27% cooldown. I do like that one, running it with this. So I have the 35 cooldown, 45% damage resist. For this comp, I just like running the full HP. It just works out better for me. I just like the 16,000 HP. But yeah, all right, so on to Eternal Sugar. Eternal Sugar is going to be running 5 chocolate toppings, but a HP tart. I'll explain why. You're going to want Eternal Sugar to have equal or more HP than Silent Salt. Well, even if you want to get a little bit more, just so Silent Salt is able to take the Doyle buff and is able to be targeted by Shadow Milk. Because look, all these other cookies, Shadow Milk doesn't really count. He never really gets targeted. I think that's part of his skill. You need Silent Salt to be targeted. If you can't get Silent Salt to be targeted, this team doesn't really work. You can get Eternal Sugar to be targeted, but you need Eternal Sugar to have the highest attack. So if this can't work out for you, switch Eternal Sugar to 3 and 3. 3 raspberries, 3 cooldown, and have Eternal Sugar be the highest attack. How I'm building it, I'm just going to show you how I build it, and that's how it is. So Silent Salt, obviously, but Eternal Sugar, I only needed one, HP tart to have that on, to have Eternal Sugar become the highest HP. Well, not highest, not the lowest HP on the team. Eternal Sugar has more HP than Silent Salt. I think it might be less, but just to be safe, you have to make sure that it is more than Silent Salt, just in case Shadow Milk just decides to ignore the buffs that Eternal Sugar gets for her HP. Damage resist bypass is going to be a 100% you need for both Eternal Sugar and Shadow Milk, and also Silent Salt. But I just like a Tainted Biscuit for Silent Salt. Make sure it is steel, by the way. Don't use a dark Tainted Biscuit. That's only good for PvE. But yeah, again, Eternal Sugar, you're going to want to have around 28, 29 cooldown, 25% damage resist. The more damage resist you can get is better. And obviously damage resist bypass. Just make sure that Eternal Sugar's HP is higher than Silent Salt. See, 950 versus 951. I know it's 1000 HP, but it makes a difference. So Doyle here, I actually am running something different for Doyle. I have a full HP biscuit. I tried it out, but it actually just makes Doyle heal a lot more. Their heals are much, much better. So I only have around 25% damage resist, 8 cooldown, but I do have 164% HP. If you were running something before on Doyle, you could honestly run 50 damage resist, 15 cooldown, doesn't really matter. I just prefer the HP because, my Doyle is 5A, the HP will scale a lot more. But if your Doyle is not really that good promoted, make sure to, focus on the damage resist part as well, just so they don't pop in the middle of the battle, which is something you really don't want happening. Now, Shadow Milk, this is just going to be the same for everything. 25% damage resist, 34 to 35% cooldown. I do like 34 cooldown because it syncs up with Silent Salt sometimes, but more than 35 cooldown. So, and also I wanted to make sure that it was just no attack subs. So I could always have Eternal Sugar's attack be more than the Shadow Milk. Not even here, it's not more because Silent Salt has more. Just in general, Shadow Milk genuinely doesn't want the highest attack on the team. You don't want Shadow Milk to get the Doyle buff because Shadow Milk's already a tanky cookie in himself. Damage resist, cooldown, crit, attack, you know, just make sure Silent Salt has more attack than Shadow Milk. That is something in support. Okay, so going into the methodology on how you fight, go along, you're gonna see everything. What you do with this team, I just click and fight and pray to God I win. That's what it's gonna be on this meta. So wait, hold on. I gotta make sure skill effects are on. Battle effects there. Okay, so now you're able to see the actual good stuff. Okay. What I usually do, I play without effects, but for the video effects, I'm just gonna turn them on. Jeez. Let's see. You prevail because your Silent Salt is able to tank the Shadow Milk, not get his cooldown paused by Shadow Milk. I'm not even sure Shadow Milk does pause cooldown. I don't know why I said that, but still, look. I was able to eliminate their Eternal Sugar, mine doing 40 million damage, surviving because of she's not taking the Shadow Milk buff. Silent Salt is repeatedly going out of dodging. You're able to win. Doyle doing a lot more healing because of the HP boost, because, Doyle does do healing based on his HP. So again, hope and pray, You just gotta hope that you go up against the right Silent Salt because there's so many different Silent Salt builds going around. Okay, come on. Heal up. There we go. Oh no. Nah, I got this. I should have it. Good. Oh! Silent Salt. No! No! The treasures were, sometimes you get unlucky like that. The treasures can line up weird and you can just absolutely get destroyed. And it is what it is. You win some, you lose some, even with the maximum amount of stats. Just running this one comp, I think I figured out it has like a 60 to 70% win rate. Oops, 6-7. 6-7! I'm gonna hit this guy right here. This is one of the people who's repeatedly in the top 10. So, of course, number 4. See again. Come on, Silent Salt just got to tank everything for Eternal Sugar to just live and do her skills. See? There we go. I think the Eternal Sugar on their side is not alive. Yeah, no. It's always either you win 100-0 or you lose so close. This meta is going to be crazy. And what I mean by crazy is that you really won't see any differential. There's always going to be Eternal Sugar in the middle, Silent Salt in the front. It's always going to be the same amount of teams for the entire top 30. I think it's the exact same. Yeah, it's the exact same, composition, but the treasures and builds can be different, just like you're going to see in Team 2. Team 2, Paper Charm. Want to know why? Because you can dispel these 2 treasures or the shield from the necklace and also the buffs that are given from the monocle and kill the other team faster. So for Silent Salt, actually, it's going to be 3 cooldown and 3 HP, and you're going to want to have 3 HP, 25% damage resist, same biscuit here. I think I went over this build in the video, so I'm just going to, show it off briefly because I did, show this one off more in depth. These are my base toppings here, crit attack subsets. I do have 1 amplify buff stat, which is kind of good for him. Not going to lie, amplify buff in like small amounts is fine, but not on like actual toppings. Seriously, 25% damage resist, you want to have more than 19% cooldown. More than 19 is okay. If you want to, shoot for more, that's just on you, but still HP. Now this time, Eternal Sugar will be getting targeted. So Eternal Sugar, I'm skipping over Hollyberry because it's the same. Yeah, it's the same build. Hollyberry has the same. Eternal Sugar this time is going to be 25% cooldown, 25% damage resist, and 35% cooldown. So 35 cooldown for Eternal Sugar. You're not going to want to have, the HP. So Eternal Sugar is going to be targeted. And this time, Eternal Sugar is going to need the highest attack. See, 151 here, 162, 159. See, Eternal Sugar needs the highest attack on this team. You need to make sure that is possible. If Eternal Sugar is going to have the lowest HP on the team, it needs to be, not even lowest, Shadow Milk is going to have more or less, but still, you know, he can't get targeted unless he's the only one. Doyle is still going to have 1.5 million. Hollyberry is going to have the 2 million. So you're going to need to make sure that Eternal Sugar is going to get the Doyle buff, because the Doyle buff that they're giving onto Eternal Sugar is going to make her survive more. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, Paper Charm, Dispel. You can use the rare. You know, I'm just going to, you know, put on the rare. Why not? Because it's the same exact thing. Yeah, here. I'll even go to my revenge battle. See? Necklace, monocle. Let's see. Hopefully this works. Okay, this is the guy that I lost to earlier. So we'll see. Silent Salt, 1 second start. Hollyberry is already, you know, active. Doyle. Come on, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die. Pearl Trigger. There we go. Dispel the buffs. Get nuked. Easy. The guy that beat me earlier, I just 100-0'd him because I just dispelled all the buffs. And I was able to win and clean up the floor. Like, look at this. Doyle, 24 million healing versus 55 million healing. Because my Doyle was actually able to buff everyone and not have the buffs be dispelled. But still, even going up, against Paper Charm. See? Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. You see a Paper Charm, what do you do? What the? Stop doing. Well, you can mirror it. Well, actually, I'm gonna save that for later. You know, I'm gonna keep this comp right here. See, you know, more people with the, was that with Tube? No. Okay. So it's gonna be probably the same story as the other guy who was number 1. So, all right, come on. See how Eternal Sugar is going to get the buff from Doyle? And, well, Eternal Sugar died, but it doesn't even matter because everyone's just gonna die to Silent Salt anyway. No, it doesn't matter. Never mind. Monocle clutch. Or not? What? Can I at least tie? I can tie. Okay, I tied. Okay, that's fine. This comp will tie. Even look, lower promotions, this could be a trap comp. You know, you never know if it's going to be like different builds or anything. So you always have to be careful. It's not going to be 100% guaranteed win rate. It's not like, it's not going to be rock, paper, scissors. It's not like, this beats this, this beats this. No, you're going to have some trouble. So see here, this is my guild leader. Hello, Ricky, how are you? See if this even works. Because I know Ricky is running something weird on his Hollyberry. His Hollyberry should die pretty quickly because he's running, I think, amplified buff, if I'm not mistaken. So no HP, so we'll see. Heal. Heal. Okay, monocle, there we go. Yep, see? Killed him even before the 30-second mark. I mean, look at his Hollyberry. Barely any damage done. Some healing. And even the Doyle. Look at 4A Doyle. 20 million healing versus 50. Big difference. Eternal Sugar, dead. Hollyberry probably died off pretty quickly as well. See, you know, when you have your targets, when you have your targeting all set, even if like you have your Eternal Sugar target all set, she gets targeted, she gets the Doyle buff. There you go. She'll live longer. Even here, Silent Salt gets the Doyle buff, gets targeted, will live longer. It balances out each other. You got to make sure, you know, you're paying attention to the targeting. Make sure that whatever cookie is actually getting targeted is going to be receiving the Doyle buff. Now, what do you do when you see a Paper Charm? Oh, I see a Paper Charm on defense. So there's this team, you know, with the chest and the necklace. It's basically team 1 with the chest. This is actually going to be the counter, you know, team 1, pretty much the same. But the only thing that's changing is the treasures. Same power, see? Different treasures. So now, let's go hunt for a Paper Charm. Not Paper Charm, not a Paper Charm. That we'll deal with later. Not a Paper Charm. Let's find one real quick. There we go. There's a Paper Charm. Okay, let's fight it. This should work based on my testing. I don't know why. I can kind of see why. Because, you know, it's just raw power. Because the Paper Charm can't defend. It's only on offense. If you overpower them with a chest and Silent Salt, you're going to absolutely one-shot. And that's what you just saw. See? Eternal Sugar, dead. Shadow Milk, dead. Doesn't do anything. right? But my Silent Salt, even though their Silent Salt did 41, mine did 29. How much of that 29 million damage mattered? A lot of it, because the 41 million damage is being soaked up by Hollyberry as well and everyone else. There you go, you know? You win easily against Paper Charm, but that's rare. It's just, you know, what you can do. I just have a separate team because, you know, I have different slots. What you can do, you could have this one team build and then you can just go, oh, look, it's Paper Charm. I'm just going to switch it back to, and then I can switch it back after I beat it. That's how simple it is. But the season is not simple. Trust me. Recap so far, team 1, basically the standard team, you know, has, you know, Silent Salt as the targeted. Make sure you have higher HP on ES than you do on Silent Salt. Same toppings for everyone. Team 2, going to be the 3-3 for Silent Salt, and then pretty much same for everyone besides Eternal Sugar, who's going to have 35 cooldown and actually have the highest attack. So that's team 2. Team 3 is basically team 1, but with the chest. And now for team 4, it's Pure Vanilla. Hello, Pure Vanilla. What are you doing here? I'm here to counter the chest. You are. All right. It's going to be the same build as team 2, the 3-3 for Silent Salt. It's going to be the same as for Hollyberry. You know, Hollyberry's, I'm just running the same exact stuff for Hollyberry. Eternal Sugar is going to have the 35 cooldown. Doyle is going to have the same, and Pure Vanilla is going to have my HP. I'm spreading all my HP toppings out. It's hard to do this for Pure Vanilla as well. Just really aim for like 40% damage resist and like 15 cooldown and have a lot of HP. Make sure Pure Vanilla has a pretty high HP stat. It doesn't have to be higher than Silent Salt. No, it shouldn't be. It has to be higher than Eternal Sugar though, like miles higher. It has to be over like a million. If your Eternal Sugar is almost at 900k, you should be like 300k higher than Eternal Sugar. That's going to be for Pure Vanilla. Oh, I have to use the Pure Vanilla leader effect because you get more HP and more damage resist. So now what you're going to want to do with Pure Vanilla, hunt for a chest. I'm not going to fight that guy because it doesn't really count. I'm not sure if there's really going to be anyone running chest on defense. I'll look for it. That's how rare you're going to use this comp. I really rank these comps based on how much you're really going to use them. Team 1 and Team 2, you're going to use them a lot. Team 3, Team 4, not so much. This is something I'm going to talk about in a little bit. Is there a chest? Hello, chest. There's no chest. Hello, chest. No one's running chest on defense. Oh, there we go. It is not a Grandmaster, but still, this comp destroys chest. And it doesn't have Shadow Milk. So if you don't like Shadow Milk, you can use this. Or don't even have Shadow Milk, actually. If you don't have Shadow Milk, you can run this and throw it against everything, you know. It's another thing you can do. Oh, there you go. And it doesn't matter. Eternal Sugar can come right back. Still die quick, but, you know, that's Eternal Sugar. Wow. There we go. Silent Salt. Pure Vanilla. There we go. Wow, I've actually... Am I number 1 now? No, I'm not. I'm number 2 still. You're really not going to use this team much, right? Getting to the end of the video, you know, this is like, you know, scraping the barrel. You really need something. You absolutely cannot beat chests with anything else. This is the true counter to it. For the final team, we have HP Madness. So Silent Salt is going to be running full HP, damage resist, cooldown, HP. See how I have here? Damage resist, cooldown, HP. If you can't get that, just go for damage resist and cooldown. Yeah, you do need to get pretty high HP stat. He doesn't actually want to have the most HP. You want to have the most HP beyond Hollyberry and Doyle. Silent Salt is just going to run full HP just to fit the HP vibe, and so he gets the 2 buff when either Doyle or Hollyberry does end up dying. Shadow Milk is going to be the same, and Eternal Sugar is going to be having the 35 cooldown build. So, and then the treasures are going to be the necklace or the monocle. You can switch out. Monocle preferably against Paper Charms. If you want to fight Paper Charms with this comp, but necklace against pretty much everything else. And you're going to want the Dernier's Squeaky Flamingo Tube. So yeah, that's going to be the builds. Let's find a good comp to fight. This was a comp that I did make a couple days ago while the metas was still forming, so it's not going to be as good. You know, if you do want to just run like an HP type of team, you can, and this is it. I just figured I'd share it out, you know, put it out there, say that, you know, the Flamingo Tube is still not irrelevant, you know, you don't need to use Wildberry. Okay, this, yeah, there we go. As you can see, it's not as good. And Silent Salt, this does not have, yeah, it kind of lost its relevancy, but I'm still sharing it here with you guys, you know, to show you, look, Flamingo Tube does have an importance. This is going to be the conclusion of the arena video. I showed you guys 5 teams in order of relevancy. Like, you're going to use team 1 and 2 a lot. Here's team 3, just in case you want to fight Paper Charms with it. People don't really run that on defense. Team 4, if you really want to fight chests. And team 5, if you really want to get silly with HP. And even if you want to try Silent, like these 2 teams back here, 4 and 5, are up to interpretation. What if you guys make builds? If you guys want better builds, you know, to share out, like, oh, look, Dreeked, I found something better. Join my Discord server. Let me know. I'll say, oh, I'll try this out, you know? I'll have an open mind. So do keep that in mind. All right, so without further ado, this is probably going to stay the meta. If there's a significant shift, I will end up covering it with a friend of mine. And look, it's all copy and paste. Without further ado, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that funny stuff. Support me, join my Discord server. Shout out to CRK Hub Discord server as well. All the GM ones there helping me out, including Heaven, not Ricky, Darren as well, PPFB, Benso, Yunche especially, Alice, shout out to you. And especially the final and last big shout out is to Dev Sisters for sponsoring me again. Thank you guys for continuing to partner with me even when I took a big break from my YouTube channel. Great, being back, creating content for you guys. I know you guys have missed these arena guides, but anyway, peace out. Good luck building your teams.